It's a brisk morning out here in Sultan, Washington, and I am looking at goodies today. Got some chickens, nice field, a little bit of snow. What do we got here? Ford junk. Maybe someone likes it, not me. What we are here to look at is a beautiful 1968, maybe, C50. I saw a terrible angle picture of it on Marketplace. And I was hooked from then. And I already came down here with the guy and looked at it, but it's gonna be your first time seeing it. And I gotta dig it out, and I want it already. Look at that thing. Nice big stack of shit on the back, just the way I like them. And of course, everything grew over where the cab is. But it's looking to be pretty solid on the fenders and everything, which is rare for these. This side it's got something going on, but it's dented, but very solid. So let's uncover this thing. It looks like it used to be green, even better. All right, I'm gonna start by clearing everything off of that. All right, we got it pretty cleaned up. I opened the hood. But you're in for a treat. Get the hood open. Everything goes into the engine bay. We got a small block here with it's all right. Whatever spreadboard carburetor on it. We got a Bendix air compressor. That's pretty cool. I don't think it has air brakes. Gotta follow his air lines back and figure out what it's for. Maybe it does have it, like onboard air or something. Pretty much what I've been doing to my other C50, so that's funny. Not a bad looking truck here. Got a good bit of rust right there and the fenders, but that's typical C50 stuff. Seems they all rust out there, especially here. It's pretty rusty, but for free, you can't say no. All right, I think next step here is to see if the tires are gonna take any more air than they got in them. I got the K10 down here with the air compressor set up, and I want to point out, there's an air tank under there. So this thing just has onboard air, which is pretty cool. It's funny because that's literally what I was doing to my other C50. Yeah, that's funny. So I'm gonna start with the front, see if I can get it aired up, and I'm gonna give it a yank with the truck and see if this will pull it out or not. That'll be a while, probably gonna be an hour of filling up tires. I ran into my first problem here. All the valve stems are just absolutely covered in asphalt and paint, so I had to clean that off. I wanted to make sure that the e-brake was off. Look at this. Pretty cool. All right, well, onto the rears now. I got the fronts up to 35 PSI from 25. I think that's good enough to get it out of here. Thing's taking a lot of air to get up to 35 PSI. There's a lot of tires on this thing. While I wait for that to get up to 40 PSI, let's look at the good, the bad, and the ugly. Someone put brand new taillights on this thing. That's like 50 bucks for the taillights. Napa mud flaps for old man points. The frame is bobbed off as short as it can be. We have I don't know the make of it yet, but we have a scissor lift under here. My other truck is like I think you call it a gantry lift. This one's a scissor lift, so higher ground clearance. Auxiliary fuel tank, been disconnected, probably rotten inside. That air tank I pointed out. We have a PTO mounted on the transmission with a shaft that comes out to a hydraulic pump. Mine's a little different. It has like, actually maybe it doesn't. I think my other truck has it. Yeah, no, my other truck has a PTO that comes out. I'll do a comparison, but my other one has a way longer shaft. The pump is back here. Probably cheaper to buy metal rod than hydraulic hoses. I tried to open the door and I did this to it. Always happens, and I gave away a set of door handles I had a little while ago. This side's got a real West Coast mirror on it. It's dented, but it's probably savable. This side over here, someone, I don't know what they did. It's been like, I don't think this is like, I don't know. I think it's like part West Coast mirror. I don't think any, no, I think it's all aftermarket. But, whoop, I'm slipping all over the place. The bed floor on this thing is solid, at least that I can see. It's like $400. Ask me how I know to do a bed in one of these. Seat, I think that's a square body seat. I don't know. Maybe someone who's into those can tell me. Doors, pretty shot. I'll find a door. What's really nice about C50 doors is they're just the C10 door with the edge cut off. I don't think they even weld those seams on the end after they cut it on the skin. No, they don't. As you can see, we're gonna need a rock replacement. We're gonna need a floor patch if I don't part this thing out. Who knows? This might be a parts truck. I know. Nice, good color. Why'd they have to paint it brown, red, disgustingness? Actually, I was about to paint my red truck this color one time, so I can't hate. Back's pretty solid. We got an old man radio station sticker. Muffler's falling off with plumber's tape holding it on. And I got to deal with that. That'll be really fun. So I got this outer one, bit of air in it, but I think someone put these tires on backwards on both sides. I think these are the inners because you got one valve stem pointing in and the other valve stem in there, and I cannot get to it with my air compressor right now. I mean, I probably could, but I don't want to get it stuck on there and then have to deal with it. So I'm getting the outers topped up, and then I'll see about that after. So that's where we're at right now. All right, so I just talked to the guy I'm picking this up from. I got front tires aired up and I got the two outers aired up, and I was worried about trying to, I think it's just gonna be so hard for my little compressor with all that weight on the back. And I was thinking of coming with my little dump trailer and throwing it away one little load at the time and everything. But the guy said he's more than happy if I just, so there you go. A bunch of rotten wood, of course. I gotta get a rake from the guy and to get the next layers off. It might be to the point where I can pull it out now. I can already see I've gained about an inch of height in the back. So that would have sucked with this little half ton. Well, that took absolutely forever. My phone went to low battery mode, so I don't know if it actually recorded a good bit of it, but as you can see down here, got a lot more sidewall showing. You can see the line where it was. The wheel was damn near on the ground. So I'm not gonna worry about filling them up too much anymore. I'm gonna see if I can get it to move. So put the phone on the charger and I'll rig up, figure out what I'm gonna do here. Fun fact, I'm a 10-second toddler, if you've heard that term. These gloves that I started doing this with, they're in the cab of the truck. I couldn't find them. And when I needed them most, taking the wood off. Yep. You know, I don't know if this is what he was thinking when he designed this, but Ben Engineered Vintage, he made a winch kit for these trucks, well, to be able to mount one on one without it looking ugly. I think their only intention, come on, their only intention should be to fix and rescue other trucks. All right, we're all set up here. Truck's blocked up. We're just gonna see if it moves at all. I'm not gonna try to yank this thing out of here and break something. Whoop. Oh yeah, I see movement. And it's pulling the truck, it's turning the motor over. So it will move, but it's a little much for the truck. I'm gonna figure out what my next plan is. I'm really lucky that the tires were all flat, because I think that kind of saved it. It only went down like 2 inches on each corner, especially in the pack with all that weight on it for so long. It's like maybe an inch into the ground. So I think actually I will try to pull out a little bit more with the truck, get to a better position. So I started making a little bit more progress, but I'm running into a problem where I have to make this turn, and I'm going into my pile now. So I gotta get that out of the way of the tire. I'm not gonna go anywhere. You can see we've made about a truck length of progress. I'm gonna park my truck over here and I'm gonna rip it over this way so I can get a better lineup. I'm about getting to a point of wrapping it up for the day because I don't have enough truck. There's still snow on the ground. We're out, but I mean, I'm either gonna have to get a tow truck back here, or I'm gonna have to just keep blocking the truck up a winch and winch and winch, and that's just silly. So I will theorize before I call us off today. I heard a rumor recently that these are rare. Well, first of all, this cab is a bump cab, but I heard those are rare. Special. I heard this is rare too. And this is rare too. That's rare. And you will never see another one like that. Okay, we are a day later and I'm back at the property. I got a quote from, I asked for a quote from one tow truck company and I walked into one right next to the shop I'm at. And they wanted some measurements, so we're gonna measure this truck up. I'm pretty sure this truck is actually the same as Greenie. So this thing is just under 20 foot from the front bumper all the way to the rear, to the very rear of the back tire. Wheelbase, I should have checked it. It's probably like 17.5 foot wheelbase. But I'm gonna call the tow truck driver and let's see what he thinks. All right, so let me turn that off. It's probably pretty loud. I called the tow truck driver and it sounds like he has a truck that might work for it. I think they have kind of a standard length flatbed, and then he has a longer one that he doesn't use very often, but that he'd use that for it. And that kind of makes me sketch out a little bit because I know he'll probably be like $500 for that tow of like, I don't even know. This literally is like 20 minutes from my house. The thought has crossed my mind on if I should just flat tow it home. Maybe at work I could weld up something that like goes in on a trailer hitch of my truck, like go to Harbor Freight and get a one of those like DIY build your own trailer out of like a truck bed things, and then just take a bar and somehow make clamps. I don't know, that just sounds kind of winded and extended. And then towing it around, you'd want to probably have a second person in it to be able to steer it just a little bit. But that sounds like a good way to go wrong in a truck with no brakes. So I think hopefully he's reasonable about it. He should be. But if he tells me like $500, I'm just gonna be like, no. I'll figure something else out because the truck's damn near not even worth $500. I could get it running there probably, but the guy has already kind of been annoyed with people that are like showing up and then and they fuck around with it for a week and then nothing happens. He was telling me about he keeps getting guys that'll be interested in something, but no one actually wants to show up for that. I've wondered, and everyone like with Marketplace and Craigslist or any online selling, I always hear people whine about they asked if it was available and then they just never responded. Well, honestly, I'm going to defend that a little bit because I look at stuff and I'm like, oh, I'm interested in that, and I'll ask, hey, is it still available? Or I'll ask, hey, when's a good time to meet up? But then I'll find something, either a better deal, I'll find something better quality, I'll change my mind about what I'm going to do, and there's no, what do you want me to send you, a winded, like, I'm, Dylan Morris, am so sorry that our deal could not go through. I wholeheartedly, like, who gives a fuck? Just leave it. It's marketplace. It just, don't respond. Anyways, after that rant, the guy was telling me about how he would have people where he'd, like, email back and forth, and then, like, when the day would actually come, the person would be like, oh, I have surgery today, or I have to go to the dentist. And I've never understood the flakiness. The people just, like, they realize how real doing something is, and they're like, oh no, I can't do that. That's too much. But anyways, that's the situation and my feeling about marketplace and everything. I got a load of sand in the back of the truck here, filling up some potholes and everything I got in my yard. It's old sandblast sand, so you know it's good for the environment. And that's it. I'm gonna hang up, maybe on the phone. Oh, yesterday I looked homeless as fuck, and I wish I didn't, but you know, it is what it is. And then also, I watched some of the film over, and I swear the whole time you can just hear behind the camera. And one, my defense for that is it's freezing ass cold, and so I was trying to stay warm and breathe and not die. But it was like 14 degrees yesterday morning. But also, like, my other videos, I think I noticed that. And I even hold the phone, like, far away from my voice, and I don't understand what I'm doing wrong. Oh, I think that's the same, no, that's someone else. I don't understand what I'm doing wrong, so I gotta really try to practice, like, and then say a bunch of shit and then stop the camera. I don't know, does anyone else have that problem? Maybe it's just me, but I don't have, like, some lung disease. I don't like, struggle to breathe. I don't know what it is. I just breathe loud on camera every time. So, no one's watching that. I elected not to film it just because of efficiency and safety and the guy's privacy. But here's the truck. Got it all out of the mud here. I'll come back with the garbage bag and get all that crap off the hood, but there it is. Now I'm just gonna head on down to the tow truck and pay him, and it'll be mine soon enough. Okay, so it's the day of getting the truck here, and I had a lot of, I was gonna happen this weekend, and then it didn't happen this weekend, and then I was even thinking of towing it home myself, but that sounded dangerous and stupid. But anyways, here we are the day. I just talked to the tow truck guy. I'm waiting for the guy to respond whose truck it is, just to make sure it's okay to go up there. Rainy as hell, of course, and I just broke my wiper because I'm trying to, my wiper motor has a dead spot in it that I decided to start doing, and so you have to, like, jump it. And I broke it like a month ago, and now I just broke it again, so that's awesome. Just blown through wiper arms lately. But we're going to the bank to get some cash because I don't have it anymore with me. And then we're doing it. So, lovely start as always. Yep. I'll see what we can do. Got it loaded up, tied the doors shut just because you never know with these. But it's on its way home now. For better or worse, be parted out or rebuilt. We'll see what happens. We'll at least get it running if we can. You know that'll happen. Alright, well, truck's all loaded up and we're heading on back now. I find it funny that on this video I'm gonna have 2 days of crazy hair. I just fixed it if you didn't notice. It's much nicer now. But yeah, I gotta move some stuff around, of course, because I always have a million things going on. And then we'll pay them up and that'll be the end of it. Well, I kind of lost the tow truck driver for a second. I was like, what's going on? And then I pull over to the side of the road, and then I see him start coming back, and the truck has no headache rack on it now, so that's funny. Someone will clean it up. That's what road crews are for, right? Well, now that we can finally get to the exciting part, not that exciting anymore now, is it? It's been, this is 4 weeks later. It's a month later. It's February 24th. I got, or March 24th. I got the truck on February 24th. Yeah, I already filmed this whole thing, and then my phone ran out. That's a whole thing I'll talk about at the end. This has just been an absolute shit show. Not really. I'm over dramatizing, of course. But now we can finally get to the exciting part. So, I wanted to do a nice walk around of this truck, and that starts now. Alright, so we're going to start in the engine bay, which is my favorite part. Let's give the hood a nice open here. Oh yeah, that's primo. These hood hinges right here are actually really nice. Seems like all these hood hinges on these trucks get worn out. I mean, they're obviously a little worn out, but they're way better than the ones on that truck. That ones are bad. Small block Chevy in here. I believe that's a Quadrajet. I'm not familiar with them. I like Hollies. I mean, I'm used to Hollies. Looks pretty covered in who knows what. Is it frozen? Oh, it's not frozen. I think I messed with it before though too. Is it like, how does that, is it mechanical secondary? I think it is. Well, no. I don't know. I can't tell if it's mechanical secondary or what. It looks like it has a lever on it. Is that the choke? Who knows? I don't know. We'll pull it apart. Maybe. Bendix air compressor, engine driven, of course. That's the coolest part on it right there. That right there is the coolest part. Look at all these homemade brackets and stuff. But they might not even be. It might be factory GM. Why is it all zoomed in? We got, of course, our lines running down next to the exhaust and everything. Custom battery tray. Looks like someone's put in a heater motor at one point in time. It doesn't look original. Someone's bypassed the whole little soft line brake line thing here. I'm not quite sure why, but I'm sure they had their reasons. Some custom wiring. It's got the smaller of the two radiators in it. It's a custom bracket right here. Horn doesn't look like it's in the right place. Looks like it should be there. Let's look at the body. We got, grill's got a good bit of rust over here. Bumper obviously is all twisted up. Fenders are pretty good. These are the big money item on these trucks. Oh, pretty good. They usually are rotted out here. These never rot out, and these are all over eBay, so that's kind of interesting. Of course, the part that nobody cares about is the one that you can always get. This step has been crunched at one time. Looks like it's been welded there and welded there. You almost can't tell the difference between the weld and the crust. Fiberglass rockers. These are structural. Looks like someone's done their own homemade kind of hokey mirror on the side. Obviously the factory West Coast Senior would have mounted there. So open up. It does look like the truck was green originally. And yellow at one point in time. And now brown. Oh, this door is interesting. Been all weld boogered together. Another part where you can barely tell the crust versus the weld. The weld is hard. Bondo on the inside. That's interesting. All the holes are torched out of it. This is really something nice. Oh yeah. Look at that. That is really something good. Luckily, someone's already patched the floors on this, so I'm really glad we don't have to worry about that. It's really nice that work's already done. In here is a million gnats. I opened the door last night and let a little bit of them out. Only a couple left. Of course, we got our C50 steering wheel here, and you can tell that because it has the straight crossbars on there, which is kind of odd. It's a blue steering wheel and a green truck with a blue seat, but I was thinking about it earlier, last time I filmed this, which is now 2 times. I'm pretty sure this and this might have belonged together. This seat, I think that's a square body thing, maybe, having all this extra crap here. That doesn't look 6772 to me. But that steering wheel, I'm pretty sure, was used in later C50s. If I'm right on that. So they might have just interior swapped another truck. Which probably this one was all torn up and now it's torn up again. Got our dash here. 39,291 miles. And our gauges, nothing fancy except the air pressure gauge right there. I'm sure that's worth big money to someone, but it's gonna live right here. Who knows what that does? Probably replace them. We got mystery switches. What do they do? Nobody knows. Keys in the ignition, so that makes it nice. We got our ashtray, heater controls. Ooh, I see a little bit of wiring in there. It looks like a nice wiring harness. We got our 4-speed with the 2-speed air shift. Not air shift, vacuum shift. Got our control for the... I'm kind of confused because what activates the PTO and what activates the dump? Is it just it activates the PTO and dump at the same time, maybe? Because I only see one knob. I mean, that's totally possible. I guess maybe it just... Oh, maybe there's a broken one there. Kind of see it right there. Missing the interior light. Cool old sticker there. Got some safety information from GM. Let's close it up and go check out the other side. Look at that. There are restored trucks with doors that don't close that good. Look at that, one finger close. Oh, I didn't notice that. Look at the heavy duty alternator pulley. I wonder if maybe it was supposed to have a second belt. Looks like it was. I love how these, what do you want to call them, damper or whatever, have 4 spots for belts on it. They were really using all the power these little small blocks could give. Didn't notice this. We got a side terminal cable with an adapter to make it a top post. This fender is really nice. We got wheels and tires. They're holding there pretty good. This side has less rust, so that is very nice too. And this side does have the correct West Coast Senior mirror on it. Oh, it's original trucks. Oh, I closed this door earlier. Can you believe that? Gosh, I'll be back. All right, we got it open now. Obviously, the first time I tried to open this door, I got a little wowed with it. You can also see from when I did get the door open, it was quite majestic. Laying on the bench seat, giving this, kind of flicking that while stomping on that. But I did get it open. This side has not been patched yet, so we will have to look into a full floor pan, cab corner, rocker, and probably have to customize or step to make that work. We got some nice goodies in here. An original heater hose. Oh, they do have this that goes with the battery. We'll have to put that in the engine bay. We got all these random brackets too. I have no idea what any of these are. There's one in the glove box I already saw when I filmed this earlier, insinuating that all this used to be in here. Nothing interesting on this. Just obviously it's a C50. There's not some rare option that it has. Did those bolt there? No, okay. You can see all the gnats here. Got our armrest for this side. Oh, there's the lens, and I didn't notice it before. I'm kind of confused. That looks like it could be the other knob, because usually you have one knob to engage and disengage the PTO, and then one to like set the pump to lift. I have no idea what is going on in this one. This fender is not all destroyed, so that's nice. I won't close this door. A little bit of rust down there, but this side's actually pretty solid and straight too. We got a extra fuel tank, of course. I'm sure that doesn't work when it's full of crust. It is. I'm not even gonna say I think. I'm sure it is. Got our air tank there for the air system. Kind of interesting that they have this whole big fancy engine-driven compressor just for an air tank, because this truck doesn't have air brakes on it. This is a hydraulic brake truck. So that also makes me wonder if that gauge in there is a factory thing, if this is like a factory air system or not. because maybe that's a super ultra rare GM air tank. The little silver thing is the fuel filter right there. The body on this is really nice, made out at a nice big angle. It's got some hokey stuff back there, but it's a very heavy duty body. And wood's pretty solid. I think it was because all that stuff was sitting on there for so long. Nothing to write home about out here. Our duals back here. These tires are obviously shot. Gotta crawl through the woods. The Napa mud flap is probably my favorite part. I don't know. The Bendix is cooler than that. Someone put all these nice taillights on here. And this is where the bed gets all hokey. Like, I don't get what... Looks like that was like an add-on because this wasn't enough lights, or who knows what they were doing. That's my also my favorite part, is all the sticker bushes that came with it. Nothing exciting on this side. You can see how the scissor lift mounts right there. There's our scissor lift cylinder. I've set these up before. They're very interesting to do. You just kind of lift the body up and then you bring the scissor lift down until it kind of evenly places on both sides, and tack it up, make sure it works good, and load it up. Our wear strip, if you want to call them that, are just 3-inch channel. It's very interesting. Usually there's wood or rubber or something there to give it a little bit of give. Support raised body before servicing. We got a little bit of rust here. You can see where the floor line of the truck is. So fortunately, we're gonna need this cab corner too, and the back wall of the cab, and the floor, and the doors. It's got a lot of rust. Our exhaust got a lot of rust. You can see the Hydro Boost system for the brakes. We got drive shaft here, looks fine to me, nothing special. That door is just really something special. At least when they did the yellow paint job, they did a good job, not like the red. The red was like the green when this truck was new, and they were like, oh, we'll fix it up, we'll paint it yellow, and they did a good job. Other than the red, they're just like, oh, I just did not care at all. Once again, best closing door I've ever seen. And something I noticed when I filmed this last time, of course, again, we go under here. Do you see what I see? Or can you? Because that transmission has no inspection cover on it. So that's a little interesting. That is a massive flywheel too. That almost makes me think this transmission is different than the other transmissions I've seen, because this is a big flywheel on that thing. I'll have to look at them. But it's missing something down there. Hopefully it doesn't make the truck unusable or unstartable. It does have a starter on it, so we'll close that up. But anyways, that's the 69 right there. Nothing crazy. It'll be a fun little project. Not going to fix it up. It's not going to get fixed up. It's not going to get restored. I'm not going to turn it into something. I just want to see if it runs, and then maybe I'll part it out or something. It's not. The truck is not worth it. This is beyond saving. When's a vehicle beyond saving? This is beyond saving. When the hood has rust patches in it. When the fenders are gone. The doors are gone. The rocker's gone. Floor gone. Cab corners. The back wall of the cab. Everything is junk. You don't save this. Just for fun. But I suppose when it's not raining, and probably in another 6 weeks, I'll do another little video. Probably throw a battery in it, see what catches on fire, see what works. Maybe I'll take the carb off, see if I can give it a little clean it up, and see if we can get it to fire off. All right, here we are, about a week later, as per usual. Everything's been moved around, but much better mood today, much more level head. The tractor started the first try. So, I've got my battery, and I've got fuel, and let's see what this thing really needs to start. So, first of all, this is just out of my other dump truck. And then I put this together. This is my fuel cell. It's a Harbor Freight Sandblaster bottle with the legs and wheels cut off, with 3 legs welded on, and then a bung put in the bottom for a fuel pump with a fuel filter because it's full of sand still. But yeah, it was my little idea on how I'm gonna make this a lot easier. So let's get started on that. All right, we got our, looks like we got our cables here. Let's get our battery put in. When I was younger, I used to have a Livingston with a Minn Kota. I still have the Livingston, but the Minn Kota got stolen. And I used to have to carry a battery like this up the stairs every day, and I loathed it. I guess I'm trying to say that I don't think batteries are heavy anymore. This one's our negative. I'm kind of scared to hook this up. I wonder what's going to fry. I wonder how many mice have chewed through stuff. Should I clean the terminal? It's fine. I was going to get my battery terminal cleaner, but I think it'll be alright. I kind of want to just like touch it to it and make sure that nothing like catches on fire before I lock it on. So yeah, let's do that. No fires? Alright, I think we're alright here. Who knows, something's about to That's good. Alright, those are hooked up. Let's give it a bump and see what happens. Alright, here we are up in the truck. Make sure we're in neutral. Let's see what happens here. Oh! Oh, it wants to live. Alright, alright. Okay, so step one, we have crank. That is good. Now I kind of want to clean that off. I think I'll just brush it. I might vacuum it off. That's kind of gross. But I'm gonna unplug that for now, just in case, because we don't know what's going on with this thing. Well, that cable is already warm, so you know it's a special situation. I was gonna unplug my girlfriend's shed. That cord runs about 300 feet up that way, but I didn't want to be mean, so I grabbed the generator and vacuum. I used to live off that generator, fun fact. It sucks. All right, I did a fair bit of vacuuming, more than needed to be, but I can't stand working on dirty stuff. Cleaned out all the valleys right there and everything off the top of the carburetor. Vacuumed out some of this fender over here. This one over here is pretty solid, but I put some more holes in that one. I noticed we're gonna have a vacuum leak right here, so I'm gonna fix that before I mess with anything, because if it's gonna run right. And I even went in here and I vacuumed out the cockpit a little bit just to make it a little bit better. Made that hole a little bigger as well. Yeah, it didn't move. But yeah, so let's fix that vacuum line and we're gonna check for spark. All right, let's pull this off. I just got a random pair of little cutters here. Get that off of that. I don't like to throw stuff like that on the ground. I like to take it and throw it away. They've got it ran all the way to the front of the carb here. That's kind of interesting, but I guess I'll replicate it. Fish this in under here. I don't really like that. I'm not going to run it like that, I don't think. I will hook it up right here under that clob of wiring. And let's put it, there's a vacuum port right here that's been clogged off. I don't know why we couldn't use that one. Let's go ahead for that. That's a better situation. Now I gotta go get a vacuum cap. But it's okay, because the vacuum port on the front of the motor is like way too big for this line anyways. I don't know why they had it go in there. Probably because it won't run right without it. Let's just try this. So interesting, this stuff. You never know. Why was it parked? Did Grandpa get sick one day and just parked it and no one ever thought to do anything with it? Or did did the transmission get blown out of it, or does it just drive terrible, or is the motor just absolutely wasted? You never know. But at least it has a good vacuum line on the vacuum advance. That'll kind of get there used to with time. You can kind of see over here. I gotta unhook the phone here. See how big that vacuum port is. So I'll go get a vacuum cap for that, and then we'll pull the distributor off. Distributor cap, I meant, not the whole distributor. Now, I've heard this before, and I've kind of always believed it, but this is really a true telling of it. This is the vacuum cap that came off of that, and it's like the silicone style one. It's still flexible, not cracked out, still good to go. So those like cheapo rubber ones, garbage. The silicone ones literally just last forever, it seems like. All right, that was the best fitting vacuum cap. Best fitting vacuum cap I had. So I had like that size, and I had one above it, but the one above it was way too big. So I almost committed the ultimate sin of leaving the fuel line disconnected while cranking it. So I'm gonna pull that. Well, I already did crank it, but it's fine. I'm gonna pull that fuel line off and run it off the side and pinch it with those vice grips real quick. How much gas is gonna come out? I bet none. Yep. All right, battery's reconnected. I'm pretty sure this stuff is flammable. Choke, just kind of. Oh, I gotta go to primaries. How do these carburetors work? I've never worked on one of these quadrajets. Yeah, I think that's good. Shouldn't do that. Let's try it. Not promising. I'm just gonna check it real quick. Let's pull it off. All right, so we do have spark now. Everything in here looks like it's been done recently-ish. Who knows? But I cleaned up all the contacts in there. We got spark there, cleaned up the rotor and everything. So put this all back together. All right, so I ended up pulling number one just to see what it looked like, and it looked fine to me. So I'm gonna check all the spark plug wires, make sure everything's connected, and I might hook up my fuel thing, because I'm thinking that I'm just spraying carb spray into the top of the carb, and maybe there's some extra butterfly or choke that I don't know about on this that's gonna keep it from going. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I hooked up my fuel, and I was messing with the carb trying to get fuel to come out at any little venturi or spot, and I realized there was a spot where the carb is free, and then I thought that was it, but there was a little bit more, then it freed up everything at the same time. So let's go ahead, and there's something flammable in there, so we'll see if it'll start up real quick. Hook up fuel to it, and I think that's going to be our solution. I think it's just cranking so slow that it's going to be a hard to start truck, but we're not worried about that. Let's just get fuel into it. Before we get crazy, I'm going to take, this was sitting in there in that pile of shit, just the throttle turn spring. I'm going to go see what I have just to make something so it doesn't just, because I don't know what's going to happen with this thing if it starts running. I just put a little quickie spring on there just to see. Never know what's going to happen with this thing, so I'm gonna get the camera set up and let's see what it does. All right, I just checked the battery. It's fine. It's a little low, but it's not like dead. I'm just gonna take all my connections here and clean them up because they just, I don't know, down there, and check my grounds, just make sure everything's good. I took the ground off. It was fine. I cleaned it up, but ohms were fine on both the cables. And I just checked it, and it did crank again, so I don't know what that was, if it was a fluke or maybe me just wiggling around fixed it, but here we go again. Come on. It definitely likes it, and you give it a lot of gas. I noticed the cables are getting really hot still. And this one is super loose right here on this little connection. You can't tell. It's spinning around, so I'm gonna check that out and see what's going on with that. All right, I'm at the point where I'm just gonna pull all the plugs. Number one looked fine, but the other ones might be gross. So I'm gonna pull the plugs. And do remember, this motor has 0 compression. From earlier in the video, I can do it with single, but this motor takes nothing to turn over, so it might not really run that good or at all, but we'll see what I can do. Yeah, it started to get a little late in the day, so it's the next morning. I took all the plugs out, and they all look a little bit. Some of them are a little rusty. That one's a little rusty, but they all just look like they would have fired. None of them look really that terrible. But I'm going to clean them up anyways, just to kind of give us the advantage here. Cylinder 8, I definitely think has some rust in it, just the way, no, which one was it? There was one of them that looked more rusty yesterday, and now it doesn't look rusty, so I can't tell right now in the dark with the light. But one of them looked like it had a good bit of rust in the cylinder, so we'll have to check that out. We now have 8 brand new spark plugs. One of them was for sure closed. I'm not sure if it was me just banging around in there and trying to get them off the socket, or if them rolling around the truck. I'm pretty sure I didn't do anything to it, but I might have. One was closed. Most of them were set at about 15 thousandths. It's a little small. I set them all at 40. Go ahead and tell me in the comments why I'm wrong for doing that. But I'm going to get these thrown in here, and we'll see what it does. Holy shit. Woo! Okay. Let's see what happened up here. It might just be dumping gas into the motor. I totally thought there for a second that it like backfired through the carb and that it was just flooding it out, or not flooding it out, but like I thought it was backfired through the carb. I did not notice the absolute pile. Look at the pile of moss and mouse nest and everything. And that's got me thinking, it didn't put it out here. It blew it out the bottom. This truck might be cranking so slow because it's like a pressurized system right now. I didn't think about that. I'm going to look and see if this is just like completely clogged up. That might be why it's turning over so slow. It's just pressure and pressure and pressure, and just it's not going to go anywhere. So, or you know what? It's not clogged now. All right, I won't worry about it. But that battery it's dead. I got to put it on the charger for the night so that I can actually do something productive with this. It's a new day. We have a fully charged battery. I ended up actually taking the cap back off and turning the motor over to TDC and making sure that like first is actually aimed at the rotor and everything. So I did all that, and I did fix the spark plug wires because they had like the longest ones on the short ones and the shortest ones. It was stupid. I fixed that up just because it was bugging me, but we're ready for our next test. So let's see what it does. Popping sounds and stuff. Come on, if you want to start. Okay. I'm going to say that's timing. I'm going to, I would say, I can't really advance it anymore. The position of these wires was kind of weird on here. Like the way the distributor's clocked. I mean, I can change the wires, but the way the distributor's clocked. So I might clock all the wires back Might be retarded now, because I should have, it was all fucking weird when I started on it, and I'm sure I'm not perfect on it. But that's promising that it's doing that now. I'm a lot closer than I was, obviously. I think it needs to be advanced a bit more, though. So I'm going to do that, and I think that's going to be the key. That's with it put back to where it was. It really wants to start right there. It's weird. It's like, I think the distributor is like a tooth off or something, because it really wants that right there. So, but if I like clock the wires the other way and then retard it to account for it, doesn't want to start at all, because then it bottoms out on the coil. So I'm either bottoming out on the coil or I'm bottoming out on the intake with the vacuum advance. Straight, I think. I think I'll pull it up and move it a tooth over. I'm at the point where I'm editing this video and I'm realizing I'm really not happy with the way I explained it. So at first the motor was turning over and barely doing anything, but I was hearing it popping out the exhaust, plus that massive backfire the motor gave me. So that told me that the motor was super retarded. So I advanced it as much as I could until the vacuum advance ran into whatever it was. I think it was, I think it was the coil. And so that was better. The motor was starting to actually fire a little bit, but it still wasn't enough. That's all I wanted to say. We're throwing another battery in it because it just did something pretty promising off camera. Of course, why would it be on camera? Yeah. I did not do anything to it. I just grabbed the camera because it did this before and I shut it off. Well, look at that. That is a good running truck with nothing done to it. Look at that. I took the belt off of that a while ago just because of everything. No leaks in the carbs or anything that I can see. Just running good. This ran for like 45 seconds total now. Wow. This thing runs better than half of my other trucks. I'll probably run out of gas soon. I don't know how much I have. Let's see if it'll rev up. Crap all over me and it's smoking my girlfriend out, but I'm gonna check the oil on it and everything and make sure we have coolant, and maybe it'll go for a little, we'll move it back and forward and we'll see what it'll do. It is manual steering. That's the one thing I really don't like about it. I just tried to put it in gear and I pushed the clutch down as far as I could get it to go, and it was just grinding the fuck out of reverse. So, and then I couldn't get it out of reverse too, so I was like, oh shit. But I think lowering the idle a little bit will help with that, but it might need a clutch adjustment because it did not really want to go into gear, but it's idling pretty high. Man, this really makes me want to find a cleaner cab for this thing. I saw a GMC cab on Marketplace a couple weeks ago. This wouldn't be a bad candidate to cab swap with something a little bit less rust-free. Well, if it drives okay. I'm gonna put a little bit of I'm gonna fill up the master and I'm gonna let that bleed, and I'll fill it up and let it bleed because I'm not gonna bleed brakes on this thing. I'll just let it gravity. But we'll see what it does, how it wants to move. It might be a cab swap truck. We'll see. Look at that. It was way worse a second ago, but I shut it off. And yeah, this motor's a little worn out. I lowered the curb idle on the carburetor. It was just dark the other night, so I couldn't see it. It's just a little screw right here. Kind of looking at stuff on this. I'm used to like Hollies, and there's not much adjustments on this. Like this should be the accelerator pump, and there's like a Holly would have like a little set screw and like a little thing you set and a spring. It looks like with these, it's just the way it's set up is the way it's set up. So that's interesting to me. And for the clutch, part of the problem was that the pedal was sitting really low. These pedals have like a kind of a return section right here, like right here. There's, I don't know, it's like a weird like notch. My other truck's like that too. But anyways, it was sitting low, so I looked through the linkage and everything. It's a little worn out, but it wasn't terrible. But what I did find is that where the clutch fork meets like this pin here, if that's what it's called, I don't know my terminology. But right here, you can see I had to end up putting a nut. You can see that the shiny part of the nut right there. That was where the stop was, but it wasn't pushing it far enough. So I put that nut in, and that took out a lot of the slop in that system. So that was all fine and great. But then I go to put it in gear, and it's still grinding gears, first and reverse. So I ended up just kind of cycling it through a couple times, trying to get, and eventually I was able to put it in like fourth, and then I didn't really let out the clutching because it was gonna go, but I was able to get it to go, and then it kind of freed up, and it spit a bunch of shit out, and it's like out at the bottom of the truck. And so I think it was just kind of locked up, but it was also misadjusted at the same time. So now we have a working clutch, and our maiden voyage is gonna be really exciting. It's gonna be driving it out of my way, and then that's it. So let's get to it. We got our mobile fuel cell here, locked in nice and tight. If it falls, let me know. episodes. We pulled it out of the sticker bushes. It's a running, driving C50. Just look at it. What an absolute beauty. And it runs like a top, too. I don't want to run it too much longer because I did check the oil and it is super fuel fouled and it's way over full. And I wasn't going to change the oil on it because look at the rest of the truck. But thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, let me know. If you want to see more done with this, let me know. If you want to see it crushed, let me know. This is just a quick attachment I wanted to make for this video. Excuse the honking if you hear it. There's a bunch of people across the street with American flags screaming at the people that don't have American flags, and those people are screaming. Yeah. Anyways, this video, I ran into a little bit of issues of storage on my phone for this video. And that kind of got me into a whole new thing of getting a little more serious about it. So I bought an SSD and like all the cables and stuff. I have an older phone, so I have to like convert it to make it work. Anyways, I plan on staying with a phone for filming stuff. I don't want to get too involved in it. I'm really not interested in that in-depth of a situation. But I'm going to try to be a little bit like, I'm trying to improve the quality a little bit because I know I don't want to watch low quality videos. I'm sure a lot of people don't want to watch my low quality videos, but I did want to say that like after this I'm truly trying to step it up a little bit, and yeah, I'm getting more serious about it. At my place, I'm putting up a decent sized shop soon, so there'll be more indoor stuff, different projects, a little bit of CNC machine stuff, Mercedes stuff, things like that. So if you're interested, stick around. If not, thanks for coming by.